This video is going to be about the top 10 reasons to buy or restore a Wilton vise. This is my Wilton. This is a 9400 HD. It's a 4-inch machinist vise. It was manufactured by Wilton in Illinois in 1966, and it is just a great vise. I picked it up used, refinished it myself, and now it's the kind of the showpiece of my shop. So it has a pretty long handle to get some good leverage. The construction is great. But the first reason is going to be reliability. These, they take a beating and they don't break. That's the most important thing about a vise. You're not going to get a vise from Harbor Freight that's going to stand up. I mean, this thing's 60 years old. The next thing is the quality of the steel or iron that it's built from. This is supposed to be built because it's a machinist vise. It's made from ductile iron, which is supposed to stand up to a beating and not crack. The next thing is going to be parts and availability. Wilton's still in business today, and you call them up. Call them up right now and say, I need a set of jaws. I need a new handle. Something were to break, they're still around. Some of the other great American vise companies from decades past they're gone. You can't call them up. This vise right here didn't come with a swivel base. They make a swivel base for this vise. I can call them up, get a swivel base. They have it. It's $150. The next thing is going to be the looks and the collectability of a bullet vise. It is extremely high. The collectability of these are extremely high. They are world renowned, and people love them. People collect them. They have a super high resale value, and I like the way they look. I think most people do. The next thing is going to be the weight. Another good plus about a Wilton vise is that it's heavy. This vise, I believe, weighs around 45 pounds or so, and that extra added weight helps when you've got something heavy in here and you're whacking on it, or whatever you're doing with it. It makes a big difference having something sturdy. The next thing is just going to be the handle length. Some vices don't have a long handle. This is going to give you that added leverage that you need. The next thing is going to be the precision of the manufacturing. This is a machinist vise, so it is supposed to be very precise when the jaws close. When they close, I mean, that's closed right there. And it's supposed to be just a tight fit. The next thing is going to be the jaws. These are hardened steel jaws that are held in by 2 screws and a locating pin. They have good teeth. I mean, these are obviously the original ones, and they seem to be good. I mean, they're a little pricey. I think it's about $50 for a set of jaws, but these are 60 years old and they're good, and I'm not planning on changing them. And then also, I do also have a set of Wilton soft jaws that you could put on like that. They're magnetic, and they have little grooves for holding things. So that's just an option. You know, this was pretty cheap. I think it may be $15. Next thing is going to be the clamping strength. You could put things in here, bearings, what have you, and if you're in a pinch, you could press them back together with your vise. The next thing is going to be aftermarket. So they do make aftermarket parts for this vise. You can get jaws made by other manufacturers to go in here for special things. And then the next thing, or the last thing, is going to be the design. The way that this vise has been designed. You have a fully encapsulated lead screw. Some vices have an open screw, so you get dirt and gunk in the screw, and that is a huge negative. Some vices, just the way that they're built, you have if you have something larger, it's able to get around the jaws. Let's say you have something that's shaped in that shape. Just the design of the vise and where the jaws are is a big plus. How everything's nice and smooth. So if you have something that you're putting in here, everything has a roll to it. So everything kind of sits down where it's supposed to a lot easier. And then as far as the design goes, ability for disassembly and rebuilding. They designed this vise to last forever. The jaws come out. Some vices, the jaws don't come out. You could take the jaws out of this vise, clean them, put them back in, replace them, what have you. You could take the lead screw out. You could take the handle out. You could take the retainer out. You could take the pins out back here, the cap out in the back, the dust cap. There's a track at the bottom that has a date stamp on it. Everything is removable. Everything comes apart except for the static jaw. The dynamic jaw comes out. The lead screw comes out of the dynamic jaw. All these pieces are all disassemblable, and you get new parts. If you pick up one of these cheap, you can get your new parts. And that's the other thing, is you can't do that with any other brand. It's just they're like the last cowboy in the old west, and that's it. I think I've covered it. There's your 10 reasons why you need to get a Wilton vise